Hello, friends. I'm so used to being like, hello, Nicole. Hello, that I mess it up. You guys all know how it is. But look, these are the postseason Big Brother Canada 9 exit interviews. So happy to have all of you guys here, all of you watching. Of course, you guys know, make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe wherever you are watching. Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you now, thumbs up, hit that bell on YouTube. It's great ways to help support our show, as is sharing it. Share it now and tell everybody that we are live. Share it when you get to the end of this show if you're watching it back in the future. Maybe you think somebody might like it. And of course, you can check out our website, hellofriendspod.com, for any of the shows that you've missed that we've done this Big Brother Canada 9 season, and all of our exciting content and social medias, where to follow myself, Nicole, the show, all of that over at hellofriendspod.com. But this show is for all of you. We are going to be taking your questions. So whatever chat you guys are in, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, you guys start leaving your questions in there, and we will ask them to Victoria. So that being said, we're going to bring on the lady you all are here for. It is the one, it is the only Team Fun Feeds, Victoria!
Hi! Hey, how's it going?
On behalf of the Big Brother fandom, I would feel it is my duty to say to you, thank you for providing us with entertainment, with fun feeds. We were all devastated when your story ended. We needed more. It was not the same after you left. We love you so much.
Oh, thanks for saying that. That means so much. I definitely went in there trying to make good TV and just be myself. So hearing that means a lot.
Well, we are so excited for this show. I know so many people are just dying to hear from you, dying to get to know, your perspective on the game. Before we jump into their questions, I want to say, how has it been post season for you? Are you enjoying the feedback you're getting from fans,
Yeah.
after the season?
Yeah, like I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like I have amazing fans, like the ones who are interacting on Twitter. And honestly, every time I see a GIF that someone made, I go nuts. Like I can't even believe that people are making GIFs of me. It's so different back in the real world, the phone, the computer, being able to go to the store. So all of that stuff is definitely something I'm adjusting to and just missing my house guests and like the location, Jury House was beautiful. Like it was amazing. So yeah, I'm home adjusting. It's working so far.
It is working. You are loving it. All right. So I want to start jumping right in. We have so many questions for you. I try and ask you the ones that we're getting the most of. I want to start with one from M. Moses over on YouTube, who says, Vic, were you really considering putting yourself on the block on your own HOH?
I won't even lie, it crossed my mind. I was thinking I was sitting pretty and no one was gonna vote me out. I knew I was making history of being the first invisible HOH ever. So I was like, should I take this even further? But of course, reality sunk in and I realized that's probably the worst idea ever. Because as soon as I hit that block, someone like me, you're out.
Yes. I mean, now, did you ever second guess telling Kiefer? Do you regret the decision? Yeah. So
Absolutely. It's funny because when he guessed and the conversation came up, I don't know if you saw the clip, but I admitted it and then I denied it.
oh yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh, I really like his reaction. Maybe we're building trust here. I'm going to tell him." So I told him and then I was like, "No, no, 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 no. Like I don't want him to know." So I denied it again.
Mhm.
Uh
We loved it. That whole entire thing of like, no, yeah, no, I'm kidding. No, yeah, you did, but no, it's not. It is. It's not. Kiefer like jumping up and down.
Yeah, like his reactions, how can you not? How can you not?
How can you not? That was one of our most favorite laughable moments. I have to say another thing that of course I'm sure you have answered this already, but it's one of the things that everybody was asking about. Of course, earlier in the season, the basically with the tie and the Jed and putting them on the block, and if the POV is going to be used or not being used, you would be forced to put one of them up. Were you really going to do it?
I was not going to be putting Ty up as the replacement nominee, and I
We
mean that
don't
from
believe you.
it's true. I would have put Beth. I would have
Okay.
put Beth, but I wouldn't have put Ty. That was a strategic move. I
Yeah.
knew that the only way he wouldn't is if I
I
said Ty.
I have to say, Nicole and I, like when we were watching and we would like recap every week, and we would always be like, Victoria, Team Fun Feeds, we love her. She brings the drama, like she's doing it. And we were like a little bit afraid. We were like, oh, but she might be too much drama. Then when you went in that drama room, you're like, no, this is my plan. I'm gonna put it up like this because I want to expose these people and see who they run to. And we were like, oh my God, she's the best player ever.
Yes, I love this show. I definitely went in there having a way I wanted to play and little tricks up my sleeve. So that week, Latoya was my target, and I could not have her come down. So I just had to put a plan in motion to keep the noms the same, and threatening to put Ty up was the only way.
Right. No, you had to. What is your relationship like with Ty now? Are you guys good
Yeah, we're
postseason?
totally tight. Yeah, I love Ty. You know, me and Ty never truly had any issues in the house. Like, he's a great guy. He played a great game. He won the whole thing. We totally stay in touch, like on Instagram and different stuff. Yeah, I hope to be catching up with him this summer soon for sure.
Love it. A question from Lala Muggs also over on YouTube. Did Victoria see the clip of herself flipping her bra off yet? I need to know her technique. A lot of people love this.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. It's something I do every single day. You know, you just it's a process. You know, you start from just unclipping it from behind, and then you just chill for a
Hmm.
bit, and then when it feels right, you just go right for the
You
middle
flick
of the
it.
bra, and you just
You flick it. It's what you got to
you
do. You have to flick. I don't know about bras. I haven't been around them. I haven't touched. I don't know. I don't know about bras. But I hear they are very uncomfortable and you always want to flick them off.
yes, it's very satisfying. Yeah, I definitely am a fan of doing that on the daily.
Destiny is over on Twitch wants to know who are some of your favorite BBCAN players? I mean, all of us watching you played the game this season, but we know that you're a huge fan. So who, inspired your game? We know we heard you talking a lot about Ica on the feeds, but are there other players as well that you took,
Yes,
inspiration
yeah,
from?
I loved Aika for sure. She was amazing. Cassandra, I loved Cassandra. I thought she brought great TV. Sabrina, I loved Sabrina and I loved her gameplay. I was going into the house trying to kind of play a game like her, kind of be with the girls, give secret stuff to the guys. It didn't exactly work out that way, but going into the house, I was like, Sabrina, I want to try and, like play like her. I also really liked Madeline from season 8. She was very direct and, she was very cute. She kept the fashion going.
She did.
And I love that type of stuff. So yeah, those are some players I really, really, really like. There's just so many, honestly. I really liked Peter. Peter, I
You're
loved
around.
his DRs, like, watching those diary room, like I felt like I was playing the game right there with him. And I think that's what's really important is feeling like you get their gameplay, you get what's going on, I
Right.
love that.
What about BBUS? Do you have any favorite BBUS players or favorite BBUS season?
I loved Jeremy. you know, do you remember Jeremy? I know.
Look,
What
I can. Oh my God, Jeremy and I were at. Here's what I know about. I mean, I liked him on the show, but a little controversial. We did a charity event together, and he stayed in the room next to me, and we had a sharing balcony. He was out there in the morning, shirtless, working out all the time, and I was like, "Hello, Jeremy. I'm your neighbor."
want that balcony.
The good balcony.
Good balcony.
No, but Jeremy, okay, so you like Jeremy.
Yes, I like Jeremy for sure.
Uh-huh.
Cowboy. Yeah, like I don't know. I loved watching the US seasons. They feel so different from
Well,
watching
we're
like
mean.
like what do I mean?
No, I know, I said we're mean. I feel like
Oh yeah.
like Canada, I always love to give like Adam Pike and Anthony shit about like you think they're gonna charge at each other on the stairs and go at it. And we're all like popcorn pop and they hug. I'm like, this is the most Canadian ending of a fight I have ever seen.
That's so Canadian.
Yeah.
So
So
Canadian.
we're
Love
mean.
it.
We're mean on ours. Um Tammy Ross over on YouTube wants to know, Victoria, why didn't you take Rohan's offer of a final two seriously at the time?
Oh, that's such a good question because it's one of my biggest regrets is not telling Rohan about my invisible HOH and working with him to take over the house. But the reason why I didn't take his final two seriously is because in week 4, when Kiefer was HOH and he had Kyle on the block and had to put a replacement nominee because Rohan took himself down. Rohan worked overtime to get Kiefer to put me up beside Kyle because he felt that Kyle had a better chance of staying beside me. So when you see someone literally go to work for 4 days trying to get you on that block, but little did people know I was working with Kiefer and that he wasn't going to put me up, I
Mhm.
still saw it happening before my eyes. So it's hard
Right.
to forgive someone and trust them 100% when they were ready to have you out of that house. You know
That's
what I
true.
mean?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that's what happened there. But I love him. I love Rohan.
Good. We love to know that you love him. I kind of want to, for me, go back for a second to the start of this game. You winning the first HOH, holding that bucket for, Team Destiny. How, I know for me, every season, I always want a female winner. And then the bonus of this season that we have so much diversity within
Yeah.
the cast was also, but I was just like, oh my God, you are just kicking the season off how we want it. What did that feel like for you in that moment, being such a fan and winning the first HOH?
It felt amazing. The thing is that I am a very big personality. I have pink hair. So I thought, you know what, Vic, you need to try and keep a low profile. That lasted 2 seconds of me walking in that door. I literally walked in the house and screamed at the top of my lungs because I was so excited. We got, into our first comp and I wasn't letting go. I had to win. And
Mm.
it felt so good, but it put a huge target on my back instantly. It's not a joke when people say that when a house guest wins comps, it's an easy target. Like, people don't want to go looking for excuses to put people on the block. They want it to be an easy reason that
Yeah.
everyone understands. No blood on their hands. Victoria won the first comp, another one. So it felt good, but ooh.
I mean, that is a topic that we discuss around here a lot when we talk Big Brother. And personally, my feelings on it have changed a lot as I think the game of Big Brother has changed a lot. Like, it used to be just that you do not want to win the first HOH, you're putting a target on yourself for the rest of the game, you're making enemies week 1. I'm almost, and I'm an expert who has not played. Uh, I am of the mindset, though, I would want to win the first HOH. Like, yes, there is the downside of you are making two enemies right off the bat, but the amount of people coming to you with information day one, and you have deniable plausibility. Like, I'm sorry, I really have no reason to nominate you. I don't hate you. I don't hate your game. And there's not too many jury members that are like, I'm not voting for you because week 1, day 1, you nominated me.
I know, right? Yeah, totally. It's
I,
true. That's true.
I feel like the benefits of it outweigh, if you're a good social player, which you are an amazing social player, I think you can navigate through winning that first HOH and it greatly benefit you in the game.
Yeah, totally.
Speaking of game, Paula19 Bear on Twitch wants to know, is there someone that you wish you worked with more in the game looking back now?
Yeah, like, and I'm not just saying this because he won the damn thing, but Ty, I really wish that I got in with him sooner so that way he would be fighting for me more with Jed and Beth when I wasn't around. We had an alliance called the Ghost Peppers, but when it came down to them having a chance to backdoor me, they did it. So I wish that I kind of had someone fighting for me. I thought Kiefer was that person,
Right.
but my big game, they just saw an opportunity and they had to take it. So if I was closer with Ty, maybe he could have persuaded them. But even looking back at his game, I don't think that's something he would want a big part of is defending people. He tried to kind of, get by without ruffling too many feathers.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and like same thing with Beth. Like maybe if I started working with Beth earlier, like if we took Party Farm more seriously, we could have conquered and divided. When she would have won that HOH, she wouldn't have put me up and we could have really run the house.
Yeah. I see Janie LY over on Twitter says, speaking of your invisible HOH, what was your thought process or the real reason behind your noms?
Yes, another great question because what had happened is I won that invisible HOH. It's the first ever. You got to make a move that, something you wouldn't do when you're not invisible, right?
Yeah.
So Austin and Brayden, I was actually aligned with them. And I'm thinking, what better time to kind of go after my alliance members when they were being the worst alliance members ever. I love them, but I would enter a room, they would leave. They would gossip without me. They would have their coffee time, their ice cream time. And I'm just like, are we even working together? I had no idea where their heads were at. I remember going into the invisible HOH right before we went in. I said to them, okay, like if we win, what's the play? And they just said, yeah, like big moves, big moves. And it wasn't enough. So when I won that invisible HOH, it just felt like the right move because at that same time, Jed approached me about the ghost peppers. He didn't know I was the invisible HOH yet. So he was already saying, work with us. He was making me feel like I was with them. So you're not really going to put up people who are saying they're going to have your back. You're putting up people who you don't feel good about. Like if Austin would have won, I don't know that she wouldn't have put me up. I mean,
Hmm.
they said that that wasn't the case, and I mean, maybe she wouldn't have. I don't know, but in that moment, what I can say is there was no doubt in my mind that that was the right choice. Like I didn't eat. Like I knew that's what I needed to do.
And I think that's the way you have to play Big Brother, honestly. Like, I think you have to do the thing your gut says, because even if you're wrong, you're living the rest of your life being like, at least I followed my gut. I think it would
Yeah.
be so much worse to be like, I wanted to do the other thing, I talked myself out of it, and just have regret for forever. At least you know you did what you felt was what you had to do. So,
Yeah,
eh,
like that's so true what you're
yeah,
saying. Like
yeah.
absolutely. Like I don't regret it because I know how dead set I was on doing it at the time.
Okay, so then the follow-up coming from L Oliviera on YouTube says, but do you regret not getting Beth out or at least taking a shot at those sunsetters?
Absolutely. At the time, I didn't know about the Sunsetters. Obviously, they were
Yeah.
working together. I didn't realize how complex and how early their alliance started. Now, knowing that the following week, Beth backdoored me, of course, I wish that I made a different move. But at that time, I thought they were going to be my allies. We had talked the week before when Kiefer was HOH that if any of us come into power next week, that Austin would be the target. And that's what I wanted anyway. So I thought by doing that, I'm just getting more loyalty, getting closer to them. They can't get me out the next week or the next week after that. I just did something huge for our side. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
they ended up backstabbing me. So of course I regret not taking a shot at them first.
Was there any point that you really were thinking, if I keep being, such a big personality and making these big moves in the game, that that could really end my game? Or did you think, like, no, these people are really riding for me? I'm doing this stuff for us. They're going to keep me safe.
Not really. Like I honestly went to my room every day for about an hour and a half and I would refold all my laundry just to get away from everyone. Like just to
Mhm.
kind of give them a break from me, because I am that big loud personality and I didn't want it to be overwhelming. So I actually tried to pull myself away to kind of, be less annoying and less present all the time. But yeah, it's hard for me. That's not my personality. So they saw that and I couldn't hide,
Yeah.
and
I
that's okay.
It is okay. Olive Oiled over on You Now wants to know. A lot of people actually ask this. Would you play again? Because I think your game might be a hard one to do again without people feeling like we got to go after her. Fans love her. She's a big personality. She's gonna make moves. She's not gonna play. Like, would you play again, and would you change it up?
Of course, I would play again. I am a super fan. This is my absolute dream, the best moment of my life. I would go in there and do the same damn thing. Be myself, be loud, be fun, be fierce. But what I would do is just try and find a solid alliance sooner and earlier and really try and stay true to that one alliance. Playing both sides of the house is very exhausting.
Yeah.
You don't know what people are saying, and I don't think you can play both sides of the house when you're as ambitious, let's say, as me. So I would probably try a few new things, but the fans seem to really like me for who I am. So I'm definitely not gonna turn down the spice. Definitely not.
And I love this. I have to say, for me, obviously, again, we loved you, Team Fun Feeds, being such a big personality, and it definitely made the season. But I have to say, like, for me, one of the most touching moments, or the thing that really spoke to me about your true personality and character, was you talking about growing up in foster care and being a youth advocate, because it is easy for us to look at the people in the game and hate their game and hate what they're doing or love their game, but it's like hard sometimes to remember these are real people, and your story is such an inspirational one to people. Have fans or people reached out to you to tell you that postseason?
Yes. Oh my gosh. This is more of like an emotional conversation because I've absolutely had people reach out to me just about their story and relating to my
Mhm.
story and how important it was to have someone tell that story on their favorite show and ask if they could talk to me for a little bit and stuff like that. And I have been loving it. It's what I do outside of the Big Brother Canada house. I'm a youth advocate. I tell my story. I try and help people who are going through what I went through as a youth. It's not easy. It's really not easy. It's hard. You're always questioning who has your back. Does anyone have your back? What's your plan? Everything's in your hands. Like I wouldn't be
Yeah.
where I am today if I wasn't as ambitious as I am. So I worry about people who aren't as ambitious as me who are going through those type of scenarios. So
Right.
just to show them and be like, "Hey, been there, done that, went on my dream of Big Brother. There's nothing that could stop me. There's nothing that could stop you." Like, oh my gosh, it gives me chills.
I wanted to make sure that I knew there was no way you wouldn't, but I wanted to make sure that you knew that because I thought it was so inspirational, and I cannot wait to see more what you do with it, now in the real world, because I think it was just amazing to hear your story, and I know that that helped a lot of people, and they wanted to make sure that I let you know that.
Oh, that means everything. Thank you so much. I'm always down to chat about that. Thank you.
Lisa wants to know. Now I would like to know we were just all very sincere and kind. Now Lisa is gonna bring the
Woo!
shades.
Let's go.
Lisa Lisa says Lisa 1561790 million on Twitter. Is Victoria surprised at the hate some of her house guests are getting?
Yes, like, honestly, I am shocked. I didn't expect to see stuff like that. The thing about living in the house is you're not everywhere. You know what I mean? You're only with what you see, you know what I mean? And I'm very shocked, but these are the type of things that are a learning experience. You know what I mean? This is how you be learn. It's stuff go kind of going viral like this. You kind of get educated and stuff like that. I personally never experienced any of this stuff that I was shocked. Like I still need to see these clips. Like I don't even know because I did not know. But all I know is that the only issue I had with Beth was that she got me out of the game.
Mhm,
You know what I
mhm,
mean?
mhm.
So that's a game thing. So yeah, no, I'm shocked, but yeah, I'm glad that people can kind of reach out and help.
Um, yeah, I mean, we say this all the time. Again, it is a game, and my wish is that we would all judge the people in the real world. Like, you don't know if being trashy is someone's gameplay, if they're trying to put a target on their back, if they're trying to talk bad about someone to make someone else feel like I'm just like you, talking bad about them, so you don't want to. Like, and look, I am not talking about the horrific things that have happened on seasons from, like racism or misogyny, but I mean in general, the things where people are like, I don't like that you didn't vote. I think we just need to give the people a chance in the real world, and we shouldn't be hating on any of these people in the real world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I agree. Like it's like two different worlds, you know what I mean? So
Right.
you got a lot of stuff going on in that house.
I mean, unless Beth won, then I would be real filled with hate. No, totally kidding, Beth. Beth, I am kidding. These shows still funny. Beth was very polarizing, but I mean, we did say all along, like, she brought out all the emotions of with us all the time, but we were like, it's also not fair. If a guy was doing what Beth was doing in that game, we would be like, that's fine. That's awesome. He's a cutthroat player. Or he's, manipulating, the other guys are manipulating. We would all be fine with it. We wouldn't be like, he's the devil. He's the worst. But just because, I felt Beth was getting a lot of heat because she was a female. And even me would get annoyed with Beth. But I always like to tell both sides that I'm being a hypocrite and I shouldn't be mad at her.
Yeah, totally.
So, I mean, it is I really hope that people, relax a little bit on that. Lenix over 514 over on you now wants to know, who do you consider to be your closest alliance member in that game? So who did you consider, who were you the closest with in the house?
It's like weird because like I did a lot of jumping around. Julie left the first week. She's someone who I really wanted to play the game with, and then she left, which really sucked.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna have to say Kiefer. We had a final two called Real Spice. I really trusted him in the game. I thought he was an amazing person, like what he stood for. Unfortunately, I don't think I was as close to him as he was to
Mhm.
me because he was with the Sunsetters. He was dedicated to the Sunsetters. I thought we had something special, but when it came down to me being on the block, he didn't fight for me the way I needed him to or the way I thought that he would. So it was Kiefer.
Kiefer's number one alliance was with winning.
Yeah.
It was with the money and winning and his family. And I mean, I think as it probably should be, I think that has to be one of the hardest parts of the game. I think a lot of people think going into Big Brother, oh, 100% I can manipulate these people and stab them in the back and steal the money and send them out. And then the reality is, I care about people, darn.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I went in there, to have fun, enjoy the experience, like make relationships. And, I feel like I focused too much on that. I should have been, like really strategizing more. But I was gonna do that kind of as I got further in the game, but I didn't get as far as I hoped. So it kind of crashed down before me.
So I see Michelle over on you now is also asking. So Kiefer is who you were the closest with. So then he would have really been your true final two? I mean, knowing what you knew up until, you got evicted, do you really think he would have been the one you would have brought to sit next to you?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Like I really was true to that. Like I can't tell you how true I was to that. That's why I was heartbroken when I heard that he was rhyming off my resume and saying, I'm the player that's hard to get out. Like when I heard that, I couldn't even believe it. I was so real to Real Spice. Like I would have went to
Mhm.
the end. So
Okay.
yeah, I would have taken him, and I even if he still played the magnificent game that he played, I think that I would have also played a good game. So I think it would have been close. So I always would have just hoped that me bringing him would trump all. But yeah,
Right.
I would have brought the guy.
Okay, now a lot of people also ask this question in a million different ways, but I'm just going to let you say what, you want to say about it. On finale night, like during the voting, a lot of people were speculating or assuming that like Kiefer told you who to vote for or told you
What?
to change
You
your
know what?
vote.
That is
What?
the biggest BS I've actually ever heard. Like, that is not even close to being true. I
Okay,
was
good.
in the jury house longer than anybody.
Hmm.
All you do is stay in the game as much as you can. You wait for the next jury member to come so you can, get your brain together. I am a super fan. I took this very seriously. Kiefer did never once told me who to vote for, honestly. I'll
I
tell
could.
you that.
Yeah, I can, and plus, it never made sense to me when people would ask that. I mean, you cannot answer this. I am saying, I assume people have their votes, their minds made up on where they're voting long before that would have happened. You're not really changing, so it's
Yeah, like they both played amazing games, don't get me wrong, like Brayden and Ty. And like, there was lots of like things to be weighed and so I was taking everything into account. I always said that the questions and the answers and the final speech are also very important.
yeah,
You don't know what they have done in their eyes or how they played their game. You only know what the other juror members are telling you. So I think it's very important to get their final word as well, but
right.
you pretty much have a feeling of who, like, how they're playing the game and what they've won and who they've gotten out. So no one's changing anybody's answer last second.
So you do, I mean, I guess we're saying never say never, but so you think there could see I my brain is short circuiting at this question. My I always think unless one of those final two people stand up, shoot you the bird, like I hate your parents, you never should have been born, you're disgusting, I hate your hat and your Crocs. I wish you the worst in life, die as like your answer. I don't think they're ever gonna say anything to change someone's answer.
Yeah, I guess it depends. Like everybody's different, I think,
Yeah.
but like I totally get that mentality. But even like going into the finale, there's things like who took who
Sure.
had the power
Yes.
to make that move, or I always wondered for Ty, like at the before I got backdoored, there was
Mhm.
the power veto comp, and he always told me if he would have won that, he would have kept the noms the same, even though Beth wanted to backdoor me. I had heard that, but just having him confirm the story the
Mhm.
night of finale, like those things help, you know what I mean? Just to like solidify, like.
Right, right. No, it definitely does. I see a lot of people asking, did Tara's game surprise you in the end? If she was in the final two, would you have voted for her? So if it was tie and you would have.
You know what? That's a very good question. Like, it's again hard to say because she didn't get to do her final pitch and the questions and who she would have brought. But yes, she totally impressed me with her game. Part of my pitch to the Ghost Peppers was, guys, Tara is about to turn it on. I knew it. I shared a room with her. We chatted every night. I knew she was a feisty, strong girl. So I knew as the numbers started to dwindle that she would turn it on. And she did. Getting Jet out twice, winning comps when she needed to, making it as far as she did. Like, I definitely, she could have had my vote. Like, yes, the last couple things mattered, but there was a time where I was like, oh yeah, Tara. Like, Tara has been killing it.
So, I see the sparkly eye saying, so specifically then, what was it that was what you factored in to your vote? Is it overall gameplay? Is it competition wins? Is it like what specifically was the factors to get your jury vote?
Yeah, honestly, it's everything for me.
It
Like
is
as a super fan, I get to look at everything, you know? I believe it's your social game, who you've aligned yourself. Are you playing dirty or clean? How is that working for you? Which comps have you won? Because the thing about Ty is he won when he needed to. Like there was times where he would have been out of there. If Kiefer would have won that one time as opposed to Ty, Ty would have been out of that game. So winning when you need to, saving your allies. He never touched the block. But hey, Brayden touched the block 5 times and survived it. So these are all interesting, fun things that you weigh out. So for me, it was everything. It was a game as a whole. So that's why I was so excited for the ending speeches, just to, see if what their final speeches aligned with what I was thinking the game that they played. Do you know what I mean? And
right.
what Ty did a lot of that. He was listing off all the reasons I wanted to vote for him. So I was like, good, this is good.
Speaking of the women in the game, Ian T, who we are still not sure as if it is Ian Terry, but I'm going to say that it is not because Ian, if it's you, text me, let me know that it's you, and then you don't have to submit them there. Whatever, it's weird. Anyway, Ian T over on YouTube wants to know: was there more discussion about the girls' alliance than what we saw in that one episode?
The bathroom scene?
Yeah, I
Is it
believe so. Yeah.
you know what? I don't really think so. I tried to get the girls together. I really wanted to start a girls alliance. We kind of solidified it, and then Julie got was the target that week, and Austin became really close with Brayden, and it kind of just crumbled, and Beth got really tight with the boys, so it just kind of evaporated. So no, I would say no.
No? Okay. Um, Game aside, what will be your most sentimental memory of your time in the house?
Oh my gosh, honestly, like meeting Arissa, like I've watched every season. So she's like a celebrity to me. You know what I mean? She's on the stage every year. She's so good at what she does. And I kid you not, when I was walking into that house, we went on the stage,
Mhm.
she was glowing. She's an angel. Like I literally couldn't even understand. Like, and we all talked about it. Like she glows. She's phenomenal. Like that's when it became real to me. Like, there's Arissa Cox. I'm
Mhm.
going into the Big Brother Canada house. Like, she like solidifies it, And the same thing when I was exiting the house, it was like, Arissa, oh shit, I'm out. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that was really huge for me.
And was it, I don't think a lot of people, maybe it's become normalized to us over the last almost 2 years, or I guess not 2 years, but due to COVID, that we have seen Big Brother US, Big Brother Canada turn into an audience less, you know, thing after an eviction. Was that sad for you as a huge super fan of this show to kind of have to like obviously Arissa's there and we
Yeah.
all love her, she is queen, but there's not the people cheering for you, and what is that like as such a big fan of the show to come
Well,
out
you
to
know
that?
what? Like Arissa, again, that's the main thing. You're going to see Arissa, you're going to have your interview. Like, obviously, the fans are great, but I never had the experience of walking out with the fans before. So I didn't really
Right.
have that to compare to. Like,
Hmm.
I've seen it on TV, that's great, but that was how my reality. Like, that's just what it was. They
Hmm.
made everything so special. Like, they really went above and beyond with dealing with COVID and making things special. Like, there was, crew that were like far away with masks and everything, but they still clapped for us and
Hmm.
made us feel special. And, it was totally fine. Like, I don't feel like I've missed or lost any part or
Oh.
experience of Big Brother. And I mean that. I've been on Slop. I met Arissa. I've been in the HOH room. I was a corn for a power of veto, like a
Hmm.
host. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? I feel like I've had every experience. So something like that hasn't even crossed my mind. No.
Well, you've had all the experiences except one, but you'll have that one when you win All Stars. So, Christopher wants to know, a lot of people actually ask this, how did you get the nickname Spicy V?
Oh, Spicy V. Yeah, I have quite a few nicknames, but that is one that is definitely stuck in the last couple of years. I've always been a pretty spicy person. I have a very loud personality. But last year, I bought a new car. It was a Volkswagen Tiguan, and it's habanero orange. So it's like bright orange.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
So we were trying to think of a name actually for the car. You know, we thought habanero orange, spicy, spicy V, and then I got my license plate to spicy V,
Hmm.
and it just stuck. All my friends started calling me spicy, spicy V, and it just stuck.
Yeah, I would have known that it was a car, spicy. But well, you're saying because of the pepper. We're
Yes.
yes, because
But
I
I was spicy V. Like it was like,
yeah. Oh no, no, I totally got it. I totally got. I was gonna go off on a tangent, and then I was like, I'm not gonna go off on the car tangent. There was somewhere we could have went, and I was like, focus there. Okay, so
I'm kind of curious now.
what is something Melanie wanted to know over in our patron group? Was there something that shocked you that you found out when you got out of the game? So was there something in the game that it shocked you to learn? Was there something that happened in the real world that you were shocked to learn when you got out of the game?
I know I already touched on this, but hearing that Kiefer was not 100% with real spice, like
Hmm.
that, I felt like I got hit with a ton of bricks. Like I thought we were like this. So just to know he was so invested in Sunsetters and I was just something to help his game was like horrifying. Um, yeah, but yeah, like the Sunsetters, like I knew they were aligned, but it's funny because when you actually hear the name, like the name of the alliance, like you
Yeah.
feel a type of way. Like they went this whole time without me hearing that name or knowing what they were or what like the sauce, like what symbols they do. So
Uh,
I would say like learning about all the alliances you had no idea about, like that is something.
okay. And did anything in the real world happen that shocked you to find out?
Um,
I don't think there was a
no, not
lot.
really. Like, no, like, not, no. Honestly, like, not really.
You
Not
guys
really.
aren't in there long enough. I think it's different for the BBUS people because I feel like they're gone for 4 months. So I
Yeah.
think there's so much more that they're missing. I have to say the Sunsetter's name, I never got it. And I don't know if it's that I have parents with dementia, and that is like sunsetting is a thing with people with dementia. And I'm just like, are they trying to say that they're forgetful or have dementia? Like, is that bad? Like, I never got it. And then finally people have just went, no, they mean like you're riding off into the sunset. I'm like, okay, I think I get it.
No, 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 no. If I
They
was
needed
part
a
of that
better name.
alliance, I would have never let that fly.
I am disappointed in Kiefer and all of the blind sides. I mean flip flop, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in maneuvering his game to where, like, in all of those things, I expected such a like an epic thing to come from a Kiefer. I was like, Sunsetter,
I know, right?
Kiefer.
Keeper. He had such good ideas all like through the season. So that shocks me.
Yeah, I'm gonna yell at Kiefer for that later. I can't wait. There's a lot of people that I have to yell at when they come on. I have nothing to yell at you about, but that's
Are
one
you
that I'm
sure?
yelling.
Nothing?
Nothing. I don't have anything to yell at you about. Um, you gave us fun feeds. That's all we want. I think as all of us, that cover the show or talk about Big Brother, having someone like you in the game gives us so much life in what we do because you make it so entertaining. And then to also know, like I said, your personal story and all of that, it's like, oh my God, and they're a great person too. It's going to be so much fun. So
Oh, I love that.
we love that. Kyle Morrison 25 over on Twitter says, what are your thoughts looking back now on confronting Tara and the hot tub area fight?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
This is
So,
my favorite.
first of all, it's funny because I like confrontation. I like to get in heated arguments. So there was a few times where I tried to initiate arguments
Mhm.
with people, and it wouldn't happen. I tried to do an argument with Beth in week 3. I tried to do an argument with Kyle in week 4, and they were not down. So when I got put on the block, um, I was very upset. You know, I was blindsided. I was hurt. So when they came to talk to me, they said, okay, look, the week's not over. We need to see Tara struggle. We want you to catch her in a lie, like prove to us why she's dangerous. We want you to call her out in front of everybody. They said because what Tara would do was pull people one on one.
Yep.
She would never talk in front of groups. So I said, no problem. First thing tomorrow. I woke up the next day and I was ready to go. I was like, okay, everyone's in the backyard. Like I was trying to get everyone in the backyard. Finally, everyone was there, and it just happened.
Mhm.
Me and Tara told each other we weren't going to do a dirty campaign. We weren't going to throw each other under the bus, all of this stuff. But then Beth told me that she was, and Rohan was. So, I called her out, and we had that argument. I don't regret it. It was my last effort to stay in the game. The
Yeah.
people who I needed their votes, they're telling me this is what I had to do. And I
Yeah.
told Tara this. Like, me and Tara are tight. We are totally good. That was our only issue in the whole time we were in the house together. And she understands that I was just trying to stay in the house. Like, that's the
Yeah.
only reason I did that. Like, that's it.
Yeah, I have to say I loved it. I mean, I do love because I always try and make the really like the stuff that I know is so dramatic. I always try and make it funny. I wanted to do a whole thing because we were making TikToks where I cut up all your parts and it was going to be like you were my friend that didn't want to go to Cheesecake Factory with me. So it's gonna have like nothing to do. I had all of I just had all of your moments, like all you'd be like, I told you. I'm gonna be like, I know, but I want Cheesecake Factory, and it would. And I just ran out of the time because you guys. Usually that's what we do when the season is like boring and we're like suffering for content. But you gave us so much, we didn't have to use it. But I literally reply to people with little 3 sections of you from that argument with
I
things
love
all the
it.
time.
That is so funny. I'm crying. Oh my God. I love that. I
It's
love
my
it.
favorite. Hannah's aunt says, what were you thinking when you found out that Jed used the veto on Beth? We didn't, yes, we got like a minute or a little bit of that in the show, but I imagine that had to have been super shocking for you guys to
It
hear.
was so shocking. In the jury house, you're not in the house, so you have no idea what's going on. You wait for Thursday, like you count down the minutes because that means someone new's walking through those doors, and with them walking through those doors is a whole week of information that you've missed. So as soon as, the new juror enters the jury house, I swear the first thing that's said to them is, "What happened?" so so Jed is telling us what happened. He's talking about who won the HOH, who went up, and then he says that he won the POV. And I was like, I am. I was confused. I was like, but if you won the POV, why are you here? I'm thinking there's been some massive twist. There was another POV, or like I never like it never came to my head that he used the POV on Beth. Like I was thinking every other scenario but that. It wasn't until Rohan beside me was like, "You used it on Beth?"
Yeah.
And it sunk in, and he owned it like a champ, like head held high, loyal to the soil. But it was shocking. Like, that would have been the first time anyone pulled something like that off in BBCAN. I don't think it was the best move in my eyes, especially that late in the game.
Right,
But
right. It is what it is. It
yeah.
is what it is. To quote Enzo from All Stars, it is what it is.
Hmm.
Um, I got a really serious question.
Okay.
I feel like there is no hard questions for you because I know that you're so open about everything, but this one might get you, and
Oh, no.
it's been asked from a bunch of people. I'm taking it from Jackie. What did the ball pit feel like? Did it feel like really germy and gross?
No, god, the ball pit was lit. It never felt germy, it never felt gross. The Big Brother Canada production, like they are unreal. You don't worry about stuff like that. They take everything very seriously. Like I never felt more safe in my life. Absolutely never felt that. I felt nothing but joy when I was in there.
A joy in the ball pit.
Uh, Literal joy. Like I was literally the happiest person when I was in there.
Yeah. No, I love it. I I I'm trying to think if it was my favorite. Would there have been any other have not room that you would have wished you would have gotten to experience in
No,
some other season?
no, we got the best one, and people are jealous.
I
Yeah,
think so too, because you could
why would
sleep.
I want a swamp? Why would I want a
Yeah.
swamp? Why would I
Oh,
want that like electric chair? No.
yeah, yeah. The swamp one was ridiculous. Oh,
Yes,
I don't know that we're well, I'm gonna ask this. I'm gonna put it to you this way. Where was Marsha this season?
I don't know. I never had the. I was out. I was the sixth person out. I never got the luxury of seeing Marsha.
I am a little bit upset about this, and I'm still waiting for Arissa to let me know where our precious Marsha was this season.
I I have no answers about that. I wish
I
I did.
I don't know where she is. BB fan over on YouTube says, "What is your relationship like now with Latoya outside the house?"
You know what? It's pretty like non-existent. Like I got her out pretty in a pretty dirty way. It was her birthday yesterday. I sent her a happy birthday message. I reached out to her when I arrived. We besides like social media stuff, we're definitely not really a thing. You're not going to be friends with everybody. Like Latoya's great, but I don't have any friends that are like Latoya. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we just don't really vibe like that. So the game's over. We all kind of have our people in the house that we're really tight with, and Latoya is just not that person for me.
Yeah. Okay. And that's very, I mean, I think that's like a very mature way to be about it. Some people, like, people don't have to always get along. I always want you guys all to get along because I feel like you're all always a family. And I always say, and people always tell me I'm wrong, by Christmas, best friends with LaToya, mark my words.
That's hilarious.
I say it every yeah, I say it
Yes,
every single season and it always happens. And plus, you guys are BB Canada. I feel like you guys all always do for the most part come together and rally around each other.
I love it.
Okay,
Hey, I would always be open for anybody. I'm not turning anyone away.
what do you want to say? I mean, I do see a lot of people saying, I'm going to pull any of them up, but a lot of people are saying along the lines of they feel that you said a lot you wanted to work with the women in the game, but it seemed like you targeted the women in the game a lot. What do you want to say to people that think that about your game?
You know, I literally targeted people who weren't good for my game. Latoya, I know that she was coming for me. I asked her to work with me and to get back to me, and she never got back to me. It was very clear that she wasn't really about working with me. And when someone doesn't want to work with you, what does that tell you? They're if they're not working with you, they're against you, right? I also saw her getting very close with very strong people, Jed, Ty, Kiefer. I was just playing the game. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
Same thing with Austin. It just didn't feel like it was good for my game at the time. So that's a good question, but I feel like it's kind of the same thing for Latoya. She said she wanted to go into the game, play an empowered game with women, but she just aligned herself with the three biggest guys in the house the first second she got. So things like that kind of change. You
Right.
kind of you got to try and keep yourself safe. So at the time, I just felt like that was the best way. I was building more relationships with the guys than with the girls at that time.
Okay. I want to take this question from just Zuri over on Twitch, and she wants to know. I'm sorry, on Facebook. Did you steal any memento from the BB house?
You
Did
know
you
what?
make it out with anything?
I didn't, but
Okay,
they give us we have so many like, you don't need to. We have
that's
our
true.
famous water bottles, like our purple water bottles with the I and your initials. We have the Big Brother Canada mask and the Big Brother Canada bag. Like, there's so many other stuff that we get that, I heard that one of the house guests took, a ball from the ball pit.
Okay,
So that
okay.
I missed my mark on that one, but
See, I know that Zuri is being shady here because I feel this is a loaded question. Now, normally in all the other, years we've been covering BB since season one, we are always usually in the house for finale, like the day after. I'm always usually in the bathroom. We're like talking to people, doing the interviews in the house. And sometimes things might fall in my bag so they can give away because like I know how much it would have meant for me to have something from the Big Brother house. But here's the thing. I always pick the bathroom because I have a lot of anxiety and I just feel like the bathroom's a safe place. But so like the things that I always end up leaving the house with, I'm like, okay, guys, who wants the soap? I got
what?
a deodorant. I'm not sure whose this one is. So then it just became a thing that I asked people, did you make anything? Did you make it out of the house with anything?
That's hilarious. No, I didn't. I was so angry when I was packing. Like, I was just like, I need to pack. I wasn't even in the mind space to think about that. I was just making sure I had all my shit. I knew I was going home.
I love that Maximus' mom says, "Oh no, you no use deodorant." Shocker. People will. I thought it was a good thing. I don't know. I was like, I would just probably want anything. I took the deodorant. I don't remember what season that was. And I
That's
was like, here you go. I
hilarious.
gave it away. Somebody wanted it.
Oh,
Um, First of all, I cannot believe that we are already out of time because this
I
has just
know. This is
flown by.
blown by. I'm having so
Flown
much
by.
fun.
I know. I want to is I'll take a few more questions. I always think this is a good one from Melanie over on YouTube who says, "Is there anything that you want clarification on from live feed watchers that you might not have found out yet?" So is there anything that happened in the game that you were like, oh, see, I feel like this is a really good question on like finale night or the day after. I almost feel like with this much time, you've probably gotten all your answers already, but we
Yeah.
still like to ask.
Yeah, well, I feel like I have the answer to it already. Something that really threw me off is that when Beth put me up, she told me the reason I was put up was because Brayden, Rohan, Tara, and Tina were bashing me to her
Hmm.
after Rohan won the veto. But what Rohan told me was the day after she won HOH, she told him in the HOH room that she wanted to backdoor me. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah. Mm.
So I guess I kind of have my answer. If she was talking about it before even the POV ceremony, that means I didn't go up because what of A, B, C, and D said. I went up because she wanted me up. So I hated how she like blamed me going up on everybody else when deep down she was the one that wanted me up and out. So
She
I don't
did.
know. Yeah.
She wanted to backdoor you 100%.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
see that's something I like to just know. You always want to know how you got out, why you went out, what happened. So knowing that it was my relationship with Beth, not and that's sad because the
Mhm.
hot tub thing, when going into that fight, I thought that Tara was throwing me under the bus and Rohan was throwing me under the bus, and that's why I'm on the block. So I that it made me go after them even harder. So knowing that they didn't even say all those things, oh no, I feel bad.
Yeah, I see people saying she wanted to backdoor you all game. She'd been talking about a resume and big moves.
Ugh.
Yeah, we knew that, she was doing it. I really mean it when I say I think that's why this is such a good season and almost maybe a good way to end this is that we normally see a slow start to a season, people play it safe. Winning that first HOH, You set the tone time after time of I'm not playing the safe. I am making big moves. I am going after people. I'm gonna create drama. So I mean, I might be speaking not for everyone, but I'm speaking for me and saying you made the season of Big Brother as exciting and entertaining as it was for me this
I love to
season.
hear that. Thank you so much. Like that means so much coming from you. Like that's golden. Coming from fans, like that means everything. Like that's all I was trying to do. So knowing that it projected, like it just makes me sleep well at night.
Well, you have hundreds of fans watching across all of these platforms right now, and I know there'll be thousands more later. What do you want to say to all of your fans who tuned in to watch you tonight?
Oh my gosh, thank you for watching and putting up with my spicy behavior. I couldn't have done it without you guys. More to come and maybe there'll be an all-star so I can do it all again.
You know that we will be rooting for you. Where do you want people to follow you on social media?
Ooh, follow me. My Instagram is at it's spicy v. And yeah, Twitter. I have like my Big Brother account, Victoria BBCAN9. Yes, find me. I'm very active on social media.
Perfect. We will put the links to all of Victoria's socials below this video, wherever you guys are watching it back in the future. Again, make sure that you follow us, Victoria. Liking, sharing, commenting on all of our stuff is great ways to support the shows, support Victoria, support all your favorite content creators. It's what keeps these shows alive. We will see you guys all next week. I am talking to Tara and Kiefer and Ty and Braden, so we should have all of them on this coming up week. Stay tuned, follow on the socials, and we'll see you guys on the next show.
Bye.
Bye for
Awesome.
now, everybody. Bye, friends.